Hi, I'm David Griffiths, All for Unity's lead candidate in the West Scotland region and constitution spokesman for the party. Yesterday I went through the South Scotland region in 2016 and took the seats won there with a projection showing that with the twin approach of tactical constituency voting and giving votes in material numbers to All for Unity in the list, we can comfortably take 2 seats from the pro-independence parties. I've been asked to run the same projection in another region, and I've done so in Scotland and Fife, which is an interesting region in terms of the split of seats and votes. So I'll just go through it quickly. Now, as a reminder, row 2 here shows the total number of list votes won by each party in that region in 2016. Row 3 shows the number of constituency seats won by each party in that region, which is important because the two are instrumental in working out the allocation of list seats. You work out the allocation of list seats by dividing the number of list votes by the number of constituency seats won. So as you can see, it was a very uneven split. The SNP won 8 to everyone else's 0, apart from the Lib Dems, good old Willie Rennie. So that hammered the SNP in the allocation of list votes, so they didn't win any. Happily though, the Conservative and Labour parties, having won 0 constituency seats, obviously were rewarded in the list. So they won respectively 4 and 2, with the Greens winning the other. So add all that together, and what do you have? You have a total of 8 constituency seats for the Nationalists, 1 list seat for the Greens, 1 constituency seat for the Lib Dems, and 6 list seats for the pro-UK parties. So 9-7 to the Nationalists. So, with the advent of tactical constituency voting, we are convinced that there will be a hole put in this and we can make a change. So, here are the numbers I've run for the amended constituency seat totals in row 3 there. So the SNP's come down to 5 because we believe that Perthshire North and Perthshire South Kinrossshire are very winnable seats for the Conservatives, extremely winnable. They've got 2 very high quality candidates there, and we think they can do it. And with a tiny amount of tactical voting, I'm certain it will happen, as long as people are prepared to vote tactically. Labour can win back Cowdenbeath, and Willie Rennie should very comfortably hold on to North East Fife. So that would mean they would, straight off, you can see that obviously the number of constituency seats has changed, but if you look on the right, you'll notice that the SNP is now in play on the list, because in terms of the list seats, because they've lost 3 seats, which handicaps them less in the rather labyrinthine rules of allocating list seats to votes. So the good news is, though, if you look on the right-hand side, you can see, although the Conservatives have lost 2, Labour has picked 1 up. So we've now got 2 Conservative, 2 Labour, 2 SNP and 1 Green. Now that means there are 4 pro-UK list seats now and 4 pro-UK constituency seats, which makes 8. So the total now is 8 each, which is obviously a lot better than 9-7 against. So what we have to do now is factor in the arrival of All for Unity in May. Now, All for Unity will clearly take some votes from everybody. So how many are they going to take? It's hard to say, but we'll estimate that they're going to take 10% of the pro-UK totals, which is, it's hard to say. We can't really estimate how many they will take, but certainly a figure of 17,000 in one region is realistic. I don't have any qualms about suggesting that. What I've also done here is the Green figure in the constituency, in the region, was rather high, and I really don't think they're going to hold on to that many. So I've adjusted the Green figure. I've adjusted it by 12% because it's unfeasibly high. I don't see the Greens holding on to that number of votes in the region at all. So that's what I've done. So if you look at what the impact is, again, there's very little. Obviously, we've got the new split of 5-2-1-1 at the top in the constituencies, and down the side it's still 2 SNP, 1 Green, and a little bit of a shake-up of the who actually wins the seats from the pro-UK parties. So not much change there on 10% of the vote coming to All for Unity. What about 20%? Well, what does that do? Again, not an awful lot. We've taken 20%, left the green figure flat at 12% because we believe that's about right. So that's 12% of the green votes have come to All for Unity and 20% of the pro-UK parties, Conservative, Labour, Lib Dem and Reform UK, UKIP, as was. That, again, makes very little difference because the Greens still managed to scrape in and get the final list seats. So again, it's still 8 each. So let's go on to 30%. And what happens on 30%? Well, would you believe it? There you go. So now we've got 30% of the pro-UK parties' votes have gone to All for Unity. The flat 12% is kept for Greens because their vote won't go up. I would imagine it will stay around that for us. And that gives us the very interesting statistic that in the last round, instead of the Greens winning it, this time All for Unity has overtaken them. So, yet again, what you're seeing here is proof that there is very real potential for the pro-UK parties to win more constituency seats. There are 3 very winnable seats the parties have held in the past and can easily do again. In the regions, rather, it is essential that a party whose votes will not be diluted by having won constituency seats gets a material number of votes, because that way their vote does not get diluted. As you can see, the Conservative and Labour totals do get diluted on the premise and the proviso that they are going to win some constituency seats. So this is why we say vote tactically in constituencies, vote for All for Unity in large numbers in the list, and we will take seats from the national list, because the tally now, as you can see, is there are 4 pro-UK constituency seats at the top, and there are now 5 pro-UK region list seats down the right hand side there. So that means the total from being 749 against is now 947 against. The number of pro-union votes hasn't moved. It's exactly the same. All we've done is reallocate them. The only change we have made is saying that the Greens will lose some votes to All for Unity, which we're convinced they will. That's the second presentation, and presentations for the other regions will follow. So please take the advice on the tactical voting guide, which All for Unity has produced. Vote for the best placed pro-UK candidate to beat the SNP in your constituency, and vote All for Unity in the region. Thanks very much for listening.